the footage of the indoor riding arena portion where I had stated about losing a donor to some meetings with DSU and some of their plans. And so I did review that, and I rewrote it in a little added detail on there, which is the blue portion of page 2 on those meeting minutes for you. And I gave you the option either leaving them the way they were or this option here, so I just need to know which you would like. Okay.
All right, I'm sure everybody had a chance to look at that. Does anybody have a preference on what you want to do here?
So what's in the blue was added, right?
It was clarified that the minutes were correct as they were read, but there was more detail in this because I hadn't added that we had a new donor come forward. I didn't add that portion to the discussion in there, so I added it in this portion. And where you, Mr. White, had asked the question as why we lost the donor, and that's where it was clarified in the discussion between DSU and.
But we didn't have the discussion on the new donor coming forward. I don't remember. Did we have that part of the discussion?
I remember mentioning that.
That was during that meeting.
Okay.
I just didn't have that in the meeting minutes part of it, but the part that Neil Messer had thought was incorrect it was actually correct if you watched later. So I sent that out in an email to you guys detailing where it actually was at so you could watch it if you saw that.
Guess I'm fine with this then.
We need a motion then to accept the corrected or updated minutes.
I'd make a motion to accept the updated minutes from January 4th meeting.
For a second? Is there a second to Corey's motion to accept the updated minutes? Is there a second to Corey's motion? If not, the minutes will stay as they were originally presented.
Okay.
Was there clarification to be asked from that previous meeting?
He thought that it didn't say that I had mentioned the reason why we lost the donor, but it did. I mean, he thought that in the meeting I didn't say that, but I did. That's what I detailed in the email to you guys.
Okay.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman? Yeah, actually, the reason for my ask on the clarification was I didn't think the minutes accurately reflected what actually has transpired. I think the minutes that Lisa prepared accurately reflect the conversation, but I was hoping that we as a board would keep that conversation accurate, and so I'm fine with approving them as they originally were, but they don't reflect reality. Is kind of where I was, so I just want to move on from it, and whatever that takes. Thank you.
Okay, well, I appreciate your comment there, but we didn't get a second, so we're gonna have to move on from that point. So we'll move on to the park board meetings from February 6th. Are there any omissions or corrections that anyone would like to add to this?
Chairman Marsh, I read the minutes, and then for the most part, I think they're fine. There is one line on the back page. There's a statement: a funding request was made to allow the Fair Association to begin collecting funding toward the building. I watched the minutes last night, and I can't glean that out of there. Help me out here.
Just looking to see where I can see
Right,
that
the first
at.
line on the second page.
I'd have to watch it again because like I said, I type them up after, but if you've watched it,
But it's, and just, like I said, everything else, look, it's fine. Like I said, that, I didn't recall it. I was reading it last night. I didn't recall it, so I dialed up the
Sure.
YouTube video from this meeting, and I didn't get that out of this meeting, so, I guess I would make
Okay.
a motion to approve the minutes, or
Just-
maybe make a motion to take a look back at that for, and either strike it from the minutes, current minutes, or, go back and review. Either way, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay. As a motion, do we need a second for that, or is that just as a request?
Well, yeah, I guess I would make the motion that we strike that sentence from the minutes. Other than that, I would make a motion to approve them.
Okay, is there a second? With Commissioner Claris's correction?
Can I add to that? I guess that if, Lisa, you go back and review it, and that's what you find in there, that's fine. Like I said, I just
no,
didn't-
if you reviewed it, that's
I
fine.
didn't, I didn't
It's
grab
just-
it from
yeah,
there when I
Okay.
watched it, so.
That's fine. I trust that you reviewed it fine, and
Okay,
we'll strike that sentence.
looking for a second to Commissioner Claris's motion?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and second. All those in favor of accepting the minutes from February 6th with the omission of the line for the funding request, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
I would like to review it as well. I mean, if I could get, I don't know,
I just don't remember.
I'd
that
like to
being
watch
said.
it, go back and watch it again myself.
Okay.
So I mean, being there, I did have it, I have a link to it that I saved to go back and watch it, but I'd like to go watch it.
Sure.
Okay. So now we have 2 ayes and no nays, and where do I go? Do I vote now, or what do I?
Well, we could just table it till next
Okay.
meeting. How's that sound?
That's
We'll-
fine.
We'll just table.
I can watch it
We'll accept
today
that.
too, so, and I'll be ready for.
Do you want to revise your motion?
Yeah, I guess I'll revise it. We'll table it till next month. We can,
Okay.
and review those January 4th minutes.
So then
or
we have.
February 6th
We have
minutes.
to rescind the motion, first and a second, and then we make
Amend,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I need to just.
you rescind your
I
motion?
just need to amend my motion,
Okay.
I think, just to, let's table the approval of the February 6th meetings until the next meeting, so we have a chance to further
Okay.
review. Okay.
And you want to second that?
I'll second that.
All right, okay, all those in favor of rescinding the motion, not rescinding, but
Amending?
amending the motion to review the footage to, with the comments about the funding request for the Fair Association. All those signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. February 27th.
We did not get those meeting minutes from the joint public meeting, so
Okay.
they'll have to carry those. Karen just said she didn't have those prepared in their entirety, so.
All right, then we're gonna move on to the bills approval from the auditor's resolution. $90 total, which was,
So that $90 became, it actually is 305. The way that it was printed, it missed out the page before it. So it was the jam pest control is added on there for 215. So on your sheet, it shows the $90 and then it shows the total of 305.
Yep.
So that's part of the billing in the general fund.
So it's actually 305.
It's actually 305. Yep, yep.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the bills as presented in the amount of $305.
is there a second?
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. There have to be a roll call vote. Commissioner Claris,
Aye.
Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Franchuk,
Aye.
Commissioner Messer,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. That passes. The next one we have here is for $63,754.50 to the Fairground Special Project. You wanna,
Yep, this is pay estimate number 5 from Coling and Coling for $63,754.50. We don't have a whole lot to go for the balance to finish is $162,230, so they're getting close.
Yeah. How's it going out there?
Good, it looks really good. They're doing a really good job. I'm pretty impressed with them.
great, so
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the bill in the amount of, what are we looking at, $63,754.50 towards the restroom project or special project out at the fairgrounds.
All right, we have a motion. Can I get a second?
A second.
A motion is second. We'll do a roll call vote again. Commissioner Claris?
Aye.
Commissioner White?
Aye.
Commissioner Franchuk?
Aye.
Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Commissioner, or the chair votes aye. That motion passes. Now we have a change order for $1,450.
Yep, that's change order number 6, issued from Coling and Coling, and it's to add the base trim to the family bathrooms, the women's and the men's bathrooms, not in the utility room. And basically, if you look around the room, it's the gray molding at the bottom. It will keep the water from going underneath and also keep it clean, easier to clean for the facility. So that was just something that we missed. So $1,450, we had to talk about that and see if it was something that the board would approve, with,
I have a question on that. Is this something that our own facilities guys can put in after the project and save us some money?
no, because what they have to do is the way that the partitions go in, they actually have to line it up and get it so that the partitions go in between it. So that was,
So it's gotta be cut in, to the
Yeah.
wall partitions?
yep,
So why did we leave the other rooms out, the utility room and?
because it won't have the, I hate to say this, but the urine and things that would be,
Yeah, the traffic.
yeah.
Makes sense.
That's more
I'm
of a
sure
sweepy kind of a room where it probably won't be as.
If anybody's
yeah,
watching, that would be a question that they would
Yeah.
ask them.
Yeah, and that's why, because it does happen,
I think it's a sanitary issue here too,
Yeah.
so.
very much so. Yep.
All right, we have a motion here, not a motion, but a change order, number 6 for $1,450. Can I get a motion to accept that?
Can I ask one more question? Sure. So on that 1,450 for the mop board that goes around, so in 10 years or whatever, we have to cut it out? Can we put it back in, or do we, I mean, I don't know what
I
the
don't-
longevity of a mop board is in a men's urinal
Yeah,
bathroom.
they last a really long time, but I'm not exactly sure. I would guess that we would be able to probably go in and splice those pieces. I don't know because I don't install it, but that would be, I don't think anybody in here would be.
Abuse-wise, really, I mean, unless somebody's.
Mike, do you know?
Yeah, usually it doesn't get,
It
Okay.
doesn't?
no, until you replace the floor.
Oh,
Got
sure.
stuck under there.
Right. So then, but it lasted as long as. You will, 20 years maybe.
Okay.
And all alcohol-based liquids on it?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't, yeah, whatever, yeah, it lasts quite
Alright.
long. And what material you're sticking it to, is it a dairy board or is it sheetrock?
A glass board.
Yeah, glass board, so,
I like dairy board. That's a good
Yeah.
term.
Yeah, that's
So-
new, that's an old new word.
Something I'm gonna have to Google now.
but it's a hard board so that you're not gonna get paper letting go off the sheetrock.
Okay.
So you're using
Made for
like a,
humidity.
you're using a liquid nails type material to glue it on. It's baseboard glue, but that stuff, it lasts for a very, very long.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Well, once again, I'll look for a motion to accept this bill.
I'll make a motion to approve the change order approval for $1,450 for Coling and Coling.
We have a first of the motion. Did I get a second?
Second.
First and a second, we'll have to do another roll call vote. Commissioner Franchuk,
Aye.
Commissioner Claris,
Aye.
Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Messer,
Aye.
Board Chair votes aye. Motion passes for that bill. Old business. Old business. New business, motor grader lease, Rough Rider Motorsports.
So you have in front of you the one that Amanda Ingolstead had reviewed and wrote based on the agreement between Stark County Road Department and the Rough Rider Motorsports. Basically that they would pick up the piece of equipment the night before an event and then change out their cutting edge and use it, bring it and change it, and then bring it back to the county shop before Monday morning so that the road crew can continue utilizing that piece of equipment. So that was an agreed upon, see if it works this year type of thing. So that's what you have in front of you. There's a couple typos in there that we'll correct before that all gets going, but the first sentence, and then the one that I've highlighted there will just say
it says
their own
owned.
cutting edge.
Is this actually a lease between Stark County Park Board, or is it just Stark County? I mean, the Park Board doesn't,
That was kind of my question is, all the equipment is purchased by the county, and it comes out of different funds, so that was,
Yeah, that's what I asked too, I guess, yesterday in the email, and I was hoping someone would tell me who actually owns the equipment. It's not that hard to, just change out Stark County Park Board to Stark County, but
Yeah.
it is a question I had.
So that being, if it's owned by Stark County, do we require different insurance then? Requirements from them?
they give us is it $2 million? $2
Yeah,
million, I think
it's
is what
laid
it
out in
is,
here.
but-
They carry a, insurance that, covers us, and we do have well, I guess it wouldn't be in this, cause this is the motor grade, but they carry, I don't remember what the limits on it are, but
I think
we'd have
it's a
to look at
$2
it.
million policy, if I recall, that we're additional named insured on there. We are certificate holder.
can we make sure that we actually get that COI from them prior to execution of this?
I do. I have
Okay.
it.
All
Yep,
right.
they provide it every year when they renew their insurance, so I do have theirs already.
You know, one thing I've noticed is I get a lot of COIs from a lot of different vendors, and the insurance companies have a really tough time naming additional
right
insureds.
person?
The additional insureds, it's, you really gotta look at them sometimes, and sometimes they just don't wanna do that. Obviously, it's picking up it's liability for them, but.
They pay
make sure-
extra for it,
Yeah, yeah.
so.
So with them leasing our equipment too, and I know the additional insurance, one of the questions I had yesterday, I sent back, do we require some kind of workman's comp or anything like that?
I don't know that
Certificate.
any of them,
Have it, workman's comp?
right,
Correct.
I don't know if any of them are employees of motorsports or if they're volunteers, that'd be a question, I guess, to ask them,
They're
so.
volunteers. They're all volunteers. There's just one that owns it, and then they just volunteer there.
That's kind of what I thought, so we
Yeah.
never have because of that status.
Okay.
They do hire their concessions people, but that's on there. But they do not have, on the certificate of insurance, they do not have a check mark in the workman's comp, so they do not have that on their current insurance. I do know that.
So they operate our equipment, right?
Yes. Yep, that one piece of equipment is ours that they operate, nothing else.
I mean, do we offer it, can we offer them some training? Or do they just automatically know how?
They know how to do it. The gentleman that actually does it is Brad, and he's a heavy equipment operator. Yep. So other than that, I don't know if they want to test them. I mean, we can certainly do
Well, I
whatever
didn't
you
wanna go
think
too
we
far.
need
As long
to.
as we got somebody that actually knows how to run them, we can't just have the average person getting in that. That's what
Yeah.
is it, $500,000 piece of equipment that we're
Yeah.
basically.
Could be a new one, yeah.
Leasing.
Well,
for-
Now-
it's an old used one.
Yeah.
It is an old used one that
Still
we
got
kept
value.
it because we were only gonna get, I think, 27,000. It wasn't much to get on trade-in, and now it probably would be worth a lot more.
As
But
far as, I know that we're not charging them anything to actually lease the equipment. I mean, as far as maintenance, that's on them?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's all, in those attachments
Okay.
where it kind of spells all of that out.
Does anybody on our side track the hours on that, so we'll let them know that a service is due or a PM is due on that?
They actually, with the road department, they actually will tell them, and they go out and they take their own samples, because I guess they pull samples of the oil pretty frequently, so
Yeah.
they'll go and do that too and make sure, and they can,
Well, usually every oil change, they take the samples and send them into CAD or whatever.
but these guys, I don't think do that, so we just do
But
it
Al
on our
keeps
own.
track of the hours
Yeah.
on it, so he
Yep.
knows when a
Yep.
PM is
Todd
due.
has I don't know if it's a program that tracks where it's at and what it's doing, but he does.
And they're gonna be swapping the cutting out edge at the county shop. They're not gonna drive down there and swap them out. They're gonna keep their cutting edge at the county shop for storage.
No, I believe they're gonna keep their cutting edge out there, so they'll drive it out there,
Swap it out.
swap it out, swap it back, and then bring it back in.
Do we have any idea, I mean, what would be a normal equipment lease rental rate?
I think that there's, there's a statute that deals with renting your equipment to like another county, and it says that you can't rent it for less than what the state rate is. So I think there are state rates out there that North Dakota sets as far as rental equipment. So you could look there. I'm sure there is some sort of a baseline
Just
for that.
something for accounting on our side. I mean, this
Well-
is support for them,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's not free. I mean, it's a piece of equipment, so.
And it's not intended to be long-term either, so I think that's probably something where they can, excuse me, start maybe making some dollars and be able to purchase their own, and I think they were looking at doing that anyway. But I believe there's equipment rental rates coming in today, and maybe that's a good indication
Yeah,
of some of
just
those
something
that
for
we
us to
get an
keep-
idea.
Keep in mind, I mean, like I said,
For
we're happy to
next year, maybe.
support them and anything we can do to help them a little bit. But it also, Stark County should get a little credit for the support that they're given too, so.
Sure.
Great.
So the changes on this lease agreement would be instead of the Stark County Park Board, Stark County, correct? Amanda?
But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if the county owns the equipment, I think that's an appropriate change.
Okay.
So my question would be then too, what about the lease that says Stark County Park Board on their property lease? Because Stark County is the owner of that, and that one says Park Board as well. But we need to,
we actually have their motorsports lease in front of us today.
not
No.
today, no,
Well, I think it's different.
because they have a multi-year, so
Right.
it'll
I don't
come
think
up
that
next year.
matters.
I-
I mean, the equipment is actually owned by Stark County, not the park board, so. I mean,
Do you know on that deed, because I know I pulled the deed on the fairgrounds and that says Stark County owns it through like the Stark County Park Board. Do you know what the deed says over on the motorsports?
I don't recall. I can look at that and bring that back before
I
we
can't
sign
imagine that the
this.
motorsports, if we had to make the amendment, would be upset by it. I don't think that there's an issue right now, but we can certainly just check into that.
And
and
make
see.
sure they're, because because the fair lease will say the same thing, I believe, doesn't it? Park Board,
Mr. Chairman,
fairgrounds.
Yes.
I've looked at those deeds and both the fairgrounds and the motorsports, are deeded in the name of the park board.
Yeah,
Now,
I know the
I don't know
fairgrounds
if
are,
it's-
fairgrounds are for sure. I don't know about the motorsports, but, okay, I'll take your word for it.
So that should be fine then. Like I said, I just brought it up on the equipment because I wasn't sure if the park board actually owned any of the equipment or if it was just Stark County, and it caught my eye this year, so.
Sure. So we could just make that change and then we should be good.
And then those few typos.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions on the lease? If not, I'm looking for a motion to accept the lease with spelling corrections to be made and the part about the park board versus the fair board.
You look for a motion?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I make that motion to approve the equipment lease with Rough Rider Motorsports for the motor grader lease.
We have a second?
Second?
We have a first and second for the motor grader lease with Rough Rider Motorsports. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. The lease has been agreed on and passed. All right, and now we have there's another lease here. What is this here?
That's for the fairgrounds.
Oh,
They're
okay.
on an annual lease.
Okay, so we have another lease here between Stark County Park Board and the Stark County Fair Association for the fairgrounds. Are there any questions on that?
So the update is in red, and then, was the updated insurance from 2 million to 4 million or something like that, or what was the previous insurance requirements?
I think that's always been the
That's
insurance
always been,
requirements.
yeah.
It was just highlighted.
So they carry their own insurance out there.
No, we carry, Indorf the county pays into Indorf. And then the Fair Association is under the umbrella of Stark County through Indorf.
And I looked this up.
And I don't believe they carry, as far as I
No,
know, and
there's
from the
no
research
other-
we've done, there's no additional insurance.
I was reviewing this yesterday and I saw the state of North Dakota requires $1 million policy for fireworks displays and stuff like that, so for
Yes.
each individual.
Yep, and they
incident.
did sign their fireworks resolution, so I did send that to Amanda from the Fair Association side. So she does have that, and, you know, that was part of what was written into here was the no
Okay.
fireworks piece unless it's approved, but.
So I'd make a motion to approve the Fairgrounds and Events Park Lease Fair Association fireworks resolution to be signed.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a first and a second on the Fairgrounds and Events Park lease and the fireworks resolution signed. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those against that, same sign. Well, that lease has been approved. Do we have any other business that we need to discuss here at this point? If not, I'd look for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Next regular meeting date is April 2nd. Does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Kind of feels odd. It might be one of the shortest park meetings we've
We've
had.
had a shorter, oh, that was a county meeting.
Yeah.
I was just thinking
That was about
that.
7 seconds or so.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of adjourning the meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned.